evening. Welcome to the Manistee City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heather, please take the roll call.
Councilmember Bachman.
Here.
Mayor Beaton.
Here.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Here.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Here.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Here.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Here.
City Manager.
Here.
City Attorney.
Here.
City Assessor. DPW Director.
Here.
Finance Director.
Here.
Planning and Zoning Director.
Here.
Police Chief.
Here.
Fire Chief.
Here.
City Engineer.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Thank you, Heather. Public hearings, we have none. Citizens' comments on agenda-related items. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment on agenda-related items only. Citizens in attendance shall be recognized by the mayor for comments, limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read. Do we have anybody here who would like to speak from the public? Seeing none, we'll move on. Consent agenda. All agenda items marked with an asterisk are on the consent agenda and are considered by the city manager to be routine matters. Prior to approval of the consent agenda, any member of council may have an item from the consent agenda removed and taken up during the regular portion of the meeting. Consent agenda items include approval of minutes, cash balances, revenue and expenses, quarterly financial update, quarterly investment report, notification regarding next study session, consideration of Manistee DDA holding and the Hops and Props event on Saturday, September 17th, 2022. At this time, council could take action to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Unfinished business, we have none. New business. Consideration of adopting the 2023 Budget and Capital Improvement Plan and approving the Downtown Development Authority proposed budget for fiscal year 2022 to 2023. Under Section 7-4 of the Charter, the annual budget must be adopted before May 15th of each year. The budget has been subject to multiple work sessions and a public hearing. Additionally, the City of Manistee is required by state statute to approve the budget of the Downtown Development Authority, DDA, before it can be adopted by the Downtown Development Board. The DDA's proposed budget was presented to City Council at the April 5th, 2022 City Council regular meeting. If approved by Council, the Downtown Development Authority Board must still hold a public hearing on their budget and work to adopt it. At this time, Council could take action to adopt a resolution approving the 2022 Budget and Capital Improvement Plan and approve the Downtown Development Authority's proposed budget for fiscal year 2022-2023.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
And Mayor, I'd just like to point out the Harbor Commission asked to increase the fee for the seasonal boat launch from $45 to $50 at their April 19th meeting. We'd ask council to consider that with their adoption of the budget. Thank you.
Amend my motion to include that, please.
Second.
Thank you. Is it necessary to go through the changes that we've already discussed? We have pages, amended pages for our books, but maybe
Correct.
for the public's.
Budget Director, I believe you guys all received the amended budget with the changes we discussed previously. We could discuss it if you'd like.
I'm just going to throw that in to add it on. to the
Okay.
motion. The changes also include, we rejected the 0.5 mil increase refuse millage to cover PFAS contamination. Council also rejected the proposed 3.5 water and sewer rate increase. The council directed staff to apply the 2022 marijuana excise tax proceeds toward the water and sewer rate increase in the amount of $45,000 water and $108,000 sewer. Council directed staff to restrict $100,000 of the remaining marijuana proceeds for use toward future PFAS expenses. Council also rejected the proposed $20,000 for the Chamber of Economic Development contract. It should be noted that we are still budgeting at $20,000 for that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And now plus the harbor fee for the boat launch from $45 to $50. So, okay, everybody clear? I'm more clear now. So, I see people talk, so I will have to wait. Are we ready to take the roll call? Yes. Okay, thanks.
Councilmember Bachmann.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Consideration of Budget Amendment 2022-01 for fiscal year end June 30th, 2022. The City of Manistee is required by state law to ensure that actual expenses do not exceed budgeted amounts. Over the course of the current fiscal year, unanticipated and unbudgeted events and/or council-approved expenditures have occurred. The proposed budget amendment addresses expenditures associated with these events to ensure compliance with state statutes regarding appropriations. At this time, council could take action to adopt Budget Amendment 2022-1 for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Could we get a overview of exactly what will be in the amendment?
So the first proposed amendment is for the legislative department in the general fund. It's an increase of $8,500, and that covers the second half of the MML manager search payment that's stretched into this current fiscal year. The second proposed amendment is for elections, where we had to do a citywide mailing that wasn't anticipated during the budget because of the redistricting. And then there was a little bit of money for grants that we'll get reimbursed for last minute election grant. The next budget amendment is for the general account, and there's a number of items there. One, our transfers out needed to be increased to transfer the proceeds of a lot sale to the local street fund, which has been the council's standing directive. We had to increase the labor attorney line item for $18,000 relating to a fire department arbitration. And we had to increase contractual service from 30 to 60 because of rental inspection fees, but those are 100% offset by the cost. It's just an in and an out, so the revenue will offset those. Next item is for parks, where we're asking for an $8,350 increase to professional services, and that was to pay Spicer to help us prepare for the $1 million EDA grant for the Riverwalk. The building inspector fund needs an amendment of about $64,000. And that's because the building permit volume has been greater than is anticipated, but that's also more than offset by the permit revenue. So as those costs go up, it's because our revenue's been going up. On the water utility, there's a $300,000 increase because we received the drinking water asset management grant, and some of those expenses will be incurred in this fiscal year. That grant was not anticipated when the previous budget was prepared. And finally, for the Marina Fund, we've sold a lot more gas and diesel this fiscal year than we had, primarily because of volume, but also some pricing increases. And with the price as it is now in the spring, we'll be selling even more. So the supply costs went up, but we make money on every gallon we sell, so that's a good thing. Also, the sales tax goes up because we have to pay sales tax on our purchase sales of fuel. And then our bank charges go up a little bit because we've had more volume. So those are the items that we've asked for budget amendments that are needed. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Roll call.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of awarding a contract to support the Drinking Water Asset Management Plan. The city received a grant to begin implementing a drinking water asset management plan. A portion of the work includes excavating and inspecting water service lines to determine the existing materials. This portion of the work has been publicly advertised and bid. 4 bids were received as follows. Moncalov Sewer Services, $172,940. Davis Construction, $363,700. Underground Infrastructure Services, LLC, $364,040. Plumbers Environmental, $633,404. Engineer's estimate, $195,700. Grant proceeds will fund this work. The city attorney has reviewed and approved the contract documents. At this time, council could take action to award a contract to lower bid Moncalov Sewer Services in the amount of $172,940 and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Discussion? Hearing none, take the roll call.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of awarding a contract to complete upgrades to the 12th Street from Oak to Elm. The city's transportation improvement plan has included upgrading a portion of the 12th Street from Oak to Elm Street for a number of years. Recently, safety concerns and the delay of the Washington Street project has moved the project forward in the schedule. The project includes widening the street section to major street standards, adding curb and gutter, construction of a new sidewalk along the north side, pedestrian crossing, and new pavement. The project was publicly advertised and bid, with one bid being received as follows. Sidorsky Brothers Excavating LLC, $547,849.88. Engineer's estimate, $600,072. The city attorney has reviewed and approved the contract documents. At this time, council could take action to award a contract to low bidder Sidorsky Brothers Excavating LLC in the amount of $547,849.88 and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion? I just have a question. Why do you think we only got one bid?
Speaking with contractors, a lot of contractors were unable to complete projects last year because of delay in material supplies. So there are very limited openings on schedules for the contractors. And also this one has a specific time frame of June through August so that we can complete it when the school is out of session.
Okay.
So I believe those are the contributing factors.
Okay, well, that's reasonable. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Roll call.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of authorizing Michigan Economic Development Corporation match on Main grant on main grant agreement. The City of Manistee and Bluefish Kitchen LLC was awarded a Michigan Economic Development Corporation MEDC match on main grant. This grant will provide up to $22,000 of reimbursement for eligible activities to renovate and expand the Bluefish Kitchen's restaurant's back deck. At this time, council could take action to approve the MEDC match on main grant agreement and authorize the city manager to execute the document. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Fourth, second.
Okay.
In there somewhere.
Discussion? Hearing none, you want to take the roll call?
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of the sale of city-owned property, Renaissance Lot 12. The city recently received 2 offers to purchase the city-owned parcel described as Renaissance Lot 12. This lot is part of the Renaissance Park located in Manistee Township. These lots are currently subject to restrictive covenants. Offer number 1, $25,000 cash. Use, self-storage. The restrictive covenants would need to be amended to accept this use as it does not meet the employment intent. Accepting this offer would be contingent on eliminating or amending the restrictive covenants. Offer number 2, $17,325 cash. Use, light industrial. Hagerty brand fishing supplies. The company anticipates hiring 6 to 7 people within the first 2 years. They will need a 15,000 square foot building to start, but plan on expanding. At this time, council could take action to accept an offer or to follow the city manager's recommended counter offer.
I recommend, I'm sorry, you can talk first?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can let the manager talk.
Okay, and maybe we'll pull up that map of the Renaissance Park. So there's still several lots available over in the Renaissance Park. This is an industrial zone in Manistee Township. And we haven't received a lot of offers, but interestingly enough, we received 2 offers for Lot 12. I was trying to steer one of them to go to another lot, but they both really liked that particular one. The second offer, Hagerty Brand Fishing, wants to employ 6 to 10 people, build fishing supply, spooning, those types of things. So it does meet the employment intent in the restrictive covenants. I know we've talked about with several council members maybe eliminating or amending those restrictive covenants, which we still can do, but it does take some time. There's a 90-day, there needs to be a 2/3 vote to do it. The city still has one lot shy of 2/3 ownership, so we couldn't independently do that. There's a 90-day provision to notify the lot owners, and then there's a 6-month delay before those restrictive covenant any amendments would actually take place. So just knowing that, I would recommend the counteroffer with Hagerty Brand for $22,500 so that we can move forward and kind of fulfill what there's the employment intent of restrictive covenants for these areas. So
I make a motion, we accept offer number 2 with a counter offer of $22,500 to offer to sell that lot.
Second.
I think that's the better choice because of the employment. I think that'll be well received. Anybody else have a comment?
No.
Heather, would you like to take the roll?
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yep. Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of the sale of city-owned property, 6th Avenue, Lot 51-51-211-105-01. The city has received an offer to purchase the city-owned parcel located on 6th Avenue just west of Maple Street Bridge along the Manistee River. Offer, $110,000 cash. Use, build 2 to 4 unit housing with finger docks. At this time, council could take action to accept the offer or follow the city manager's recommended counter with proposed additional terms and conditions. Mr. Gamble, could you tell us what you would like to propose?
Thank you, Mayor. So this particular lot, it is a challenging one to build on. There's quite a bit of slope there. This is located next to the Edgewater condos. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can see the Manistee River. It's zoned R3. It's sad, I mean, this one sat on the market for over 1,500 days. We received an offer for $100,000. They went up to $110,000. I think the intent would be that they build housing units with finger docks. We're also proposing that they allow for a Riverwalk easement to extend over to the North Riverwalk along with, so there's a couple contingencies we have in here, but the counteroffer I'd recommend is $120,000 with a Riverwalk easement and a development agreement as well that would necessitate they build within 2 years. We'll negotiate it with them and that'll come back to council, but the city could have an option to buy that back if they don't meet a certain time limit for building.
What was the list price?
The list price was originally, it was $195. When speaking with our Mike Canuti, that was one we didn't change because he was starting to get interest from this potential buyer. $195.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Do we know if they have intentions of buying the 219 Sixth Avenue as well? They have a purchase agreement on that or anything?
I'm not aware of it, if they are.
I'm sorry, was that Councilmember Szymanski who made that motion? Thank you.
And who was the second? Aaron? Okay.
And that motion was to,
To the counter offer
The counter-
on the property for
120.
120,000 with the Riverwalk
Easement.
access easement.
And building within 2 years.
Yeah, and a 2-year requirement for building. Which I think is something the planning commission is trying to put into anything that goes forward as well, to make sure that things
Move along, correct?
Any other questions from council? Any discussion? I guess we're ready for the roll call vote.
okay, Councilmember Bachmann,
Yes.
Mayor Beaton,
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg. Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski,
yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of applications to boards and commission. City clerk has taken action to advertise vacancies on the Compensation Commission, Harbor Commission, Historic District Commission, Housing Commission, Pay Commission, Tree Commission, and Zoning Board of Appeals. Mayoral and manager appointments require a motion, second, and council voted support. Nominations for council appointments do not require a second. After all nominations are made, the council votes on the nominees until one nominee receives a majority vote. The following applications have been received. Housing Commission, 1 vacancy, term ending 5/31/2027, mayoral appointment. Thad Taylor, 531 8th Street, Douglas A. Parks, 724 Harbor Drive, Virginia Pelton, 329 First Avenue. As this is a mayoral appointment, I would like to appoint Virginia Pelton.
Second.
Need a motion and a second.
We need a motion.
Make a motion, sorry.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I just want to make a couple comments. It's rare that we have such well-qualified people. We had 3 well-qualified people to apply for this. You're probably wondering why I picked Jenny Pelton. And the reason is, I do believe that Northside residents should have a voice on the Housing Commission, and that has been absent for a long time. I believe that will go a long way toward more open communication, so I'm happy that Ginny stepped forward. So I'm ready to take the roll call vote.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Zoning Board of Appeals, 2 vacancies, terms ending 5/31/25. Applicant shall be a representative of the population, distribution of the various interests present in the city. Mayoral appointment. Glenn C. Zaring, 321 Fifth Street. At this time, the mayor and council could take action to make appointments as noted. I would be recommending Glenn Zaring.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Any discussion? Okay. We're ready for roll call.
Councilmember Bachman.
Yes.
Mayor Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Lundberg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Notices, communications, and announcements. A report from the city assessor. A regular part of each council meeting is a report from a cooperating agency, organization, or department. At this time, Molly Whitstone will report on the activities of the city assessor's office and respond to any questions the council may have regarding their activities.
It's been a very busy year.
I bet.
I did think that the market would cool and slow down. That has not been the case. So next year, it will be another busy year. Our total assessed value is $254,481,700. The change, personal has gone down, as you notice. Personal will go down again next year because the state has expanded the small business exemption to $180,000. And then the industrial personal property will be totally off our assessment roll due to the fact that all of that is now going to be on the essential services with the state for the EMPP assessment roll for the industrial personal. Now, you're looking at me, that money goes away, but the money comes back. So it goes off of the ad valorem roll, but it comes back on the essential services that the state reimburses the city for the personal property. So that will be another big change next year. Our taxable value change is gone from $208,147,586 to $219,106.32. So we keep increasing, we're not going backwards. And I'm anticipating next year it's going to be a 5% taxable value increase due to inflation. We just keep hearing that it is climbing. So
We're talking millions here, right, Molly?
millions, sorry, millions,
Okay.
dollars and millions. Wish it was billions for you, but then I couldn't do you, so, you know, you have to have a level 4, not a lowly level 3. March Board of Review, we have had continuing the veterans are the majority of the March Board of Review, and then you have the hardships, and then you have the basic protests. So it just is very level, not much happens. Our taxable value by class, your residential is still your largest class of property with your industrial and your commercial, and then your personal is down to 5%, which that will go away pretty much. And assessed is the same. So our residential class keeps carrying the mail with all the uncappings and with all the sales and the pressure on the residential class. That keeps increasing. The commercial is increasing now. We've had a lot of sales on River Street. We've had two very large sales that were almost $1 million in the commercial class, and that did not count the hotel that sold. So the commercial is increasing also. We just seem to be marching right along
In a good direction.
in a very good direction.
Which property are you referring to on River Street? Or that, you talking about the property that they're gonna do the rehabilitation at?
No, I didn't talk about, no, I'm not considering that property. That, we created its own little district and its own little area just for that. So those sales didn't impact the rest of the commercial class on River Street.
Did I hear you say two big properties sold on River Street though? So which one?
Well, I was thinking, I had two big properties sell. I had the grow facility sold for almost $1 million, and then we had the video store sell for $990-some thousand. Shake your head.
Always got more money than I got.
So that's why we've broke out the corner there, so it didn't impact the rest of River Street.
Well, thank you. We're all kind of stunned with these numbers.
I'm
They
stunned.
all good numbers.
I'm stunned with them when I see them and put them in the computer.
Yeah.
I keep going, oh my, and they just keep going up. But that's a good thing, because that means our economy is thriving and growing. We are becoming a destination city. People want to live here, and that's a good thing. So what you're doing is working.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Moving on to concerns and comments. Citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment on municipal services, activities, or areas of city involvement. Citizens in attendance shall be recognized by the mayor for comments limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read.
Seth Pratt, 355 2nd Street. I just had two things. So the first one is regarding the road conditions at 4th Street. We were told several years ago that that would be fixed. There was a portion that was and a portion that hasn't been. I haven't had a chance to send pictures, but I will do that. There are holes that are so deep it's down to brick. And there are residents that walk in the street because that sidewalk is a little uneven. And I know that several of the residents have called and they said they haven't received a call back. So I'm just wondering what the process is for getting on that list so that that can be filled, because I'd hate for that to be a safety issue if somebody fell. And then I guess I had a question in regards to the park that's being proposed on 9th Street by the boat launch. And I apologize if some of this has already been discussed. So I have an email from Mr. McCula in which the tense leads me to believe that maybe a deal's already been struck as far as a price for the city-owned property down there at the former 440. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but I'm a little worried that what we're giving up and what we are proposing for the 1 acre park is not comparable. I'm wondering if anybody's done a contamination study on that property to see if there's any ground contamination or any issues that need to be addressed. And I'm kind of concerned that last time when Councilmember Pontiac spoke about the park in her area, which I'd hate to lose anything that's a feature for citizens in that area or for residents, especially children, it was mentioned by Mr. McCula that as of right now, the city can't maintain the parks that they have. So if we're looking at expanding something and creating a 1 acre park, I'm just wondering if the city has the resources to do that. And from the email that I have, it seems like it was only mentioned to that property owner, and I'm just wondering if we did actually seek bids, if we're gonna sell that property, what that process would look like. And I'm just wondering in the future if maybe it might be beneficial to send out a survey or try to gather input from the community in regards to that, because the one thing we can't replace is land once it's given up. So that's all I had.
Thank you. Okay. Officials and staff. I'm sorry, we have another one. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I looked down. I said,
My name is Dennis Scarrow. I live at 1453 Maple Road, and regretfully, I've been here before with the same issue. Back in June of 2016, March of 2018, August of 2018, 2020, and again tonight. Over that course of time, I presented these pictures to the council, which I assume are in the garbage now. But I do have a new packet of 22 frequent flyer blighters, and I would like to present these to the chief. So whoever, at some point, they are clearly marked by address. They have a picture of the offending property, and like you say, these have been on the list for so long, it just gets disheartening. I'm going to give you a couple examples. The neighbors that put up with this garbage. Dan Korzeniewski lives at 17 McGill. I had a property at 23 McGill for over 20 years, and Dan got to the point where he was so disgusted with the lack of any kind of enforcement that he bought the house to the east and to the west of his house, knocked them both over, fenced the entire yard, and then made a beautiful garden for his own use. I sold my house because I couldn't put up with it. It was a duplex. We have another situation, Herbert Funeral Home. Why Paul hasn't sued the city is beyond me. That pigsty down there on Kosciuszko and Ramsdow is just beyond belief. All of those pictures are in this packet. And this has been going on for at least 10 years, maybe more. I was surprised when I went down on 7th Street east of Kosciuszko, and I see now there's some storm separation going on. That used to be a auto, I guess you'd call it junkyard on 7th Street. But all of a sudden it's gone. What happened? How did that happen that after all of these years, those cars and trailers and boats and you name it, garbage is gone? So it tells me that if the city really wants to do something about blight, there is a course of action, and it certainly hasn't been in the past. Like I say, how Paul has put up with that mess, and it goes down Kosciuszko Street. It goes from Kosciuszko 8th heading west, turns onto Ramsdell Street and continues. It seems to me a few years ago you had a roach problem caused by the properties starting at about 6th at Kosciuszko, and they moved, although I have no basis to prove that. So anyways, it's just time. And finally, we're promoting tourism in Manistee. Well, let's look at the Jarka Feed Store building. That piece of garbage has been there for 25, 30 years. The address is 24 Arthur Street, and it continues to, the siding the metal siding is flapping in the breeze. There's concrete laying all over. The doors are missing. There's holes in the foundation. It's time, okay? And finally, as a landlord, I've been 52 years in the landlording business in Manistee, and not once has there been a complaint about my properties because simply you don't allow it. I've had, for instance, years ago, I had a exhaust system that was left, a one-piece exhaust system at 365 First Street. After a month or so, the tenant called me and wanted to know where exhaust system was. I said, you probably could find it at the county dump. Because when my guys call, when they're cutting grass, we don't put up with it. We don't have junk cars without plates on them. We don't have engines hanging out of the trees. It's simply a matter of personal pride, and as far as I'm concerned, the pride of the city. So not only have I wasted, 6 years of my time, but $90 worth of photographs to date. But this time, I'm going to keep on it, because I have a lot of time on my hands now. So I'll be back, and I hope the council takes this blight situation to heart.
You have 10 seconds.
That's what I figured, my 5 minutes would be up. Anyways, this ordinance needs to be rewritten, and certainly the...
Mr. Skiera.
Pardon?
Thank you, Mr. Skiera.
Thank you, too.
Can I ask you a question? What was that address on Arthur Street?
24.
Okay.
The other major offender is 250 Fifth Avenue at Ford. That's a recycling operation. And another one is at
This is not the appropriate time.
204 Washington Street, another pig pen, and 820 Maple, which is a frequent flyer for the last several years.
Thank you, Mr. Skiera.
Thank you.
Jenny Pelton, 329 First Avenue. I would like to thank the council for supporting my application to be on the Housing Commission. I won't let you down. I feel I have a lot of housing experience, and I hope to be an asset to the city with this. And in reference to what Mr. Scara, who I respect as a really great landlord in this town, honestly, a really great landlord, I will tell you that we as a neighborhood on the north side reported a property, and within 24 hours, our policeman was there, gave them notice. Within 7 days, a horrible, horrible blight was completely cleared up. We celebrate the new proposal and the action, and I have spoken to some other policemen who are, I feel, very concerned and taking action in their neighborhoods. So we all know it's not going to happen overnight, but I do believe they are making a very concerted effort for their designated areas. And I think we just need to, as citizens, keep reporting and helping them. So thank you, and I look forward to helping the city on the Housing Commission. Thank you again.
Let me get somebody else. Hang on just a minute. I gotta reset my timer. Somehow. But I know, I'm trying to reset my timer, so I apologize. Please, begin.
Yep, okay. Thank you. I am Tabby Kraus. I live at 531 9th Street. And I just remembered something from the last meeting that I attended, which was last meeting. It was something about the youth project that is in Sands Park or nearby next to that school. Well, I was wondering, I just felt like proposing the idea. It's probably been kicked around a bit already. Yeah, but upgrading that light on 8th Street and Cypress is set to 8th Street and 31 also, to a full-on stoplight instead of the caution and blinking stop for one side. So that there could actually be like a guaranteed cross there for children, and because there is currently only 2 that are kind of in range for that, one next to the Shell and one kind of over by Wendy's, I believe is the next one to that side. And I feel like that would be a good place for one because there is a large hill with a curve on it there as well. which is a bit of a safety issue for people crossing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you for. I think we can now move on to officials and staff, unless there's, I don't see any more citizens coming forward. Mr. Gamble.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank Finance Director Ed Bradford, staff, and City Council for their work on the adopted budget. That's all tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Salem.
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. City Engineer.
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
DPW Director.
Nothing, thank you.
Zoning.
I did want to check with ZBA, something that we wanted to address tonight.
The fees?
Yeah, is that the only thing?
I didn't. Was it on the agenda? Do you want to provide an update on it?
I can, yes.
Yep.
You might want to introduce yourself because not
Hi,
everybody.
yes, my name is Katie Mell. I am the zoning administrator for the city. I have attended one meeting, but this may be one of the first times everyone's seeing my face, so nice to see all of you. I know that it was brought to the Planning Commission. I'm not sure if it's really made it before City Council that potentially increasing the fees for going before the Zoning Board of Appeals. So I just wanted to, put that in your ear and be available for any questions if you guys had questions on that. Currently, the fee is $750 with amendment fees for zoning amendments and a couple other special use permits and things being more like $1,000, $1,200. So it would not be unreasonable to increase the ZBA fee. Things to keep in mind is that you want it to, basically cover the cost of what it costs the city to provide for that, but also you don't want to be making money off of it. So it's kind of a fine line there. So just that information for you, and if you have any questions.
What do the other cities charge any do that?
Well, the other local communities that the planning department administers zoning for are around $750 typically, but that's usually their cost for all special use permits. All of their higher fees are typically the same at $750. In the city, like I said, it's more so like $1,000 with the ZBA fee being at $750. So yeah, it would not be unheard of to bring that up to match the others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's see. Fire Chief Cameron.
Thank you, Your Honor, thank you.
Police Chief.
Your Honor, thank you.
IMS. Mr. Bradford.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay, sorry. All right, I think, Mr. Bachman,
All set, thank you.
Ms. Lundberg.
Nothing. I just had the pleasure of walking through my district to get signatures for my petition, and that was really great. It's great to be in this beautiful city, meeting neighbors, and I just really enjoyed it. So, thank you.
Did you walk in the rain?
No, I walked last weekend when it was beautiful and sunny, or 2 weekends ago when it was beautiful and sunny.
Okay.
Beautiful day.
Ms. Sullivan.
Aye.
Ms. Pontiac.
Just want to thank everybody on their the budget, and it was. And then I just wanted an update on the Spirit of the Woods. Is the demolition still happening at the end of the month, or?
Yeah, I think they are planning the demo to start. I believe it's been delayed a little bit, and it's not going to be done before Memorial Day. But I'm hoping to get more information on that, and I'll share that with council.
Next.
You're next.
Okay. Jeff, did we ever buy a camera yet, or are we any idea to buy a camera for the sewers? I mean, we've had this trouble.
As I spoke before, several years ago, we did investigate purchasing a camera for the sewer purchases. The results that we found were not that great. All our demonstrations had issues with them. And so for the amount of money, we decided to hold off on the purchase. And since that time, we've only needed to utilize the camera maybe two, 3 times a year. And there are local contractors that do have those services. So we have found that it's better to partner with the local contractors who are keeping up current on that technology rather than spending our large sum ourselves. Also, I need to also mention that one of the reasons why our needs are diminished for televising is because we did do well over $1 million worth of televising with the SAW grant. So most of our sewer system has already been logged, and it's on GIS. We do use that probably 3 times a week as a reference point.
I mean, we could have used it on the Pratt's case, of course.
Could have possibly. It wouldn't have changed anything, but yeah.
Okay, how about 8th and Cherry with that road? Cars are going around that deal, around that island out there. Are we gonna get an accident before we fix that or what?
You're talking about where we had the water main break? So we've got, last year, I think I reported this to council, but last year when we bid out our annual road patches, typically we'll pay about $200 to $225 a ton, and it always goes up. Last year our low bid was, I believe, $3,000 a ton, and there was no way we were gonna spend that kind of money on the road patches. So most of them, to get us through the winter, we cold patch those in. We're rebidding those right now, and I believe the plants will be opening in a couple weeks.
I see all these cars going around that island. I mean, I don't wanna see somebody smack up.
Yeah.
So, now, are we buying that Morton's Park, or why are we putting money into it if we don't own it?
You're talking about the proposed conversion. So one of the ideas that we put forward to the DNR and the National Park Service was taking a portion of the 10 acres that we purchased from Morton and dedicating that as our conversion. So we already own the land, but it would put it in as a protected park, officially. So we would carve 1 acre off the 9 acre we already own, and then dedicate that as parkland, and then that would allow us to do further upgrades and be eligible for grants on that parcel. The parcel has always been used as parkland, so there's really no functional difference. And there's been discussion for many years about doing some enhancements down there.
Somebody brought up to me that they thought they were gonna go into a dog park. I didn't hear that before.
The only park that I'm aware of that's been discussed as a dog run is a portion of Morton Park, but the Parks Commission is not recommending that moving forward right at the moment.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, Chief Glass. Have we done anything with that car at Hancock and Fifth and Third? It's sitting in the backyard with no plates on and.
We'll look at our GIS system and see if we've done anything. The officer works night shift, so I'll check our GIS system.
Okay, cause I see it back there. Okay, are we starting with the blade stuff now or what?
We've issued several citations. We've been in court multiple times.
Okay. I just ride around and I see all this junk. Are they gonna fix that Davis Street hill?
Which one?
One that they tore the house down.
We've notified the owner. We let him know what our specifications are, that he didn't meet them. If he doesn't comply in a reasonable amount of time, we'll issue a citation, give him a court, and if.
The neighbors are complaining to me, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, there's a couple houses on Davis Street that we're currently addressing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know if we do it for well. Thank you.
Mr. Szymanski?
First of all, it is Teacher Appreciation Day, so round of applause for our teacher here and all of our teachers. And so actually, so you haven't missed it because it's also Teacher Appreciation Week. So if you have not taken the time to say thank you to your teachers, there's still plenty of opportunity. The only other thing is the bridge, do we have a better update on when the bridge will be open for pedestrians and/or people and cars?
So the remaining work that has to be done on the bridge is an epoxy overlay on the concrete like we've discussed. It requires the temperatures to be 50 degrees and rising and needs to stay at least above 45 overnight. So the contractor needs 2 to 3 days of that stretch of warm weather and without rain to be able to do that. I'm not gonna knock on wood before you, but the beginning of next week looks like the forecast looks favorable. So the contractor is watching that very closely, but they're just waiting for that window. Our weather's just been up, down, it gets warm and then it rains, and so that's what we're waiting on. The structure is technically under the control of the contractor. However, we have moved barricades off to the side on the west side to allow pedestrians to easily access back and forth, although technically the bridge isn't open.
Okay, thank you. That's it for me.
That's it? Okay. Well, first of all, I don't know if council is aware of this or not, but Governor Whitmore recently signed House Bill 4705, which is finally an amendment to the Open Meetings Act, which means all boards, all commissions, all councils in the state of Michigan have to adhere to having at least audio done for all of their meetings to be available to the public. And that could include that videotapes would be audio as well. So I think that's a real plus. We were ahead of the curve when we decided to just do that ourselves and have all of our commissions videotaped. So I'm really pleased to see this action by the state. It's going to have an impact on our school districts in the area. But I think it's for the good of the public. So I'm happy about that. I also want to remind people that there is a fundraiser this weekend at the Ramsdale Friday night to raise money for Ukraine. It's sort of a Mother's Day, help the mothers of the people in Ukraine. It's going to have a lot of bands. I'm going. It's the price of the ticket is $20 a person, and it's open seating. So, you know, if you buy a ticket, you can sit in the balcony, you can sit on the main floor, wherever you can find a seat. I think it'll be a good fundraiser. And lastly, I would really like to thank Ed Radford and his staff and Mr. Gamble for their diligence that they've done on the city budget. We asked for changes. They were met with willingness by the city staff, and I do appreciate the cooperative spirit that we've had over the budget. So I want to thank you for that. And lastly, again, to Mr. Taylor and to Mr. Parks, you have stellar resumes, and like I said, I was really stuck, but I felt really strongly about my choice, and I hope you'll lend a hand if Ginny needs a little advice or help. So that's it for me.
Mayor, could I ask a question?
Yes.
On the Open Meetings Act, I had someone ask us, we can't show our video live, is that correct? Or does anyone know the answer to that? Because right now you can just get it taped after, you can watch the tape afterwards. But
It would require cooperation with PEG for their public access channel to do that, and I'm not sure that we're set up to do that, so.
There's no restriction on your showing it live. You
Right.
certainly could if capable technology-wise.
decided not to, or what?
No, it's kind of a function of the PEG Commission, the Public Educational.
Okay, because someone asked me about it, and I said, I tried to watch it live too, and I couldn't, I don't know.
Well, they're all running there, but after they've been taped. They're also on TV. You can also access the public channel. It's like 188 or 189.
So it's running live?
It's not live. It's just, it's a recording.
Right.
Of video.
So, I mean, you can buy equipment that allows you to stream the meetings in real time. When we put in this system, the decision was made not to do that and to just publish it through the PEG channel for a couple of reasons. I don't think without PEG getting some more technology and trying to interface, and then you've got another party involved, that we'd be able to stream it live on TV too. you would have to do it through YouTube or some other mechanism, and by making sure our videos are available on TV too, it kind of strengthens PEG. Most communities don't stream them live, they're tape delayed, and there's other good reasons for that, but that was the decision that was made when we put the system in.
Okay. Thank you.
To adjourn?
I'd love to make, yeah. Did you like a motion to adjourn?
I would.
Okay. We're adjourned.